And we are off and running. Here we go.
So, you want to visit a haunted house, I think I have one that should suit you. That is, if you dare follow me. You will? Fine.
There we go.
Who wouldn't follow Dr. Ben?
Welcome to Dr. Ben, the castle of Dr. Frankenben, as I called it tonight.
There
Here we are.
How you guys doing?
We're good, doctor. What do you have in the lab?
Yeah. Bulldogs into Halloween a little bit.
I'm having a good time tonight.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
You guys do anything fancy at Foreman Fitness for the holiday?
We have like a spooky personal training special, but that's about it. We have a little decoration in the lobby area. I think you'd appreciate it, Bulldog. We have a creepy clown.
Good.
Yes, very creepy.
Spider web, spiders. There's some various Halloween paraphernalia. It's good.
I think you could level up if you get, maybe in the treadmill area or at the recumbent bike area to get people to speed up. You should just come by with like your spooky clown stuff and just start making horrifying noises to just get them to speed up. Just running for your life. You're like, yeah, I know you can run faster. Here, let's find out.
The wolves out into the fitness center. And,
absolutely. So what's going on in your neck of the woods there? What would you like to bring to us tonight to make us better humans?
I was thinking tonight we could talk a little bit about the topic of exercise diversity. Diversity is such a topic on everybody's minds.
This is so perfect. I'm Jewish. He's Irish. You're all set. We got everything you need.
That's right.
We're bringing it.
You got a Jew. You got a Mick. What do you got?
You got the veritable UN, United Nations of exercise here.
But thinking of it more in the terms of exercise diversity, and what I mean by that is that many people have a tendency to focus on maybe one style of exercise and forego others. And I feel like, when you do that, you leave a lot on the table. So, the different kind of broad categories of exercise are cardiovascular exercise or conditioning, and I think we all know that person that maybe they run 3 miles every day and that's all they do, right? There's people that and there's remarkable benefits that come from the cardio category. To your heart, your lungs, your blood vessels, your blood, all that kind of thing. And then there is the second category, which would be strength. And I think we all know those people that all they do is go to the gym and they do their bodybuilding moves or their powerlifting, or they do their weights to look a little bit better on the beach or whatever. But they don't really do much in the department of cardio. So they kind of leave that out. And then of course they get great benefits. They get stronger, they get bigger muscles, they get all kinds of stuff, but they leave a whole host of benefits out that they don't get.
Yeah.
And then there are those folks that work a little bit on the third category, which would be mobility. And I think we know those people too, the ones that take like just yoga, like that's all they do. Or maybe they have a little stretching routine that they do each day to get ready for the day, but really they don't do much else in the realm of exercise. And those people get some benefits too. They get more flexible. Maybe they move a little bit better. They move without pain, things of that nature. And then kind of the final category for exercise that I kind of think of as a category, you might kind of argue with me on this one, but it's recovery. He's not
going to argue. You found his sweet spot.
I have been recovering. I got it down.
He's the king of recovery.
Certain techniques, certain things you can do to recover faster and recover better from exercise. And I think a lot of people, and we know that type of person, the person that's exercising extremely heavily, but they're doing it every single day. Maybe they're going to a boot camp program or something where it's the same high intensity stuff every single day of the week, and there's no effort put into recovery. And Or we know those people who are just in recovery mode all the time, like they never, so they miss out on all the benefits that you might get from the other three categories that we just mentioned.
His
And
name is Snorlax. He's a Pokemon. He's in constant recovery, just so you know.
That's why Bulldog chose to match his background tonight, because he wanted to disappear.
What is behind you? Are those fish? Is there fish on the wall behind
There
you?
is there's some Mexican art. I think my ex bought them a long time ago, so she left them for me. But now the secret's out, and they'll probably be gone next week.
She left you with them.
Yes.
What we were talking about, like it really is, I think, important that people start to think a little more thoughtfully. What are they going to be putting into their routine each week? So that you're hitting all of those different areas. That you're recovering properly, that you're getting enough cardiovascular exercise, that you're getting enough strength training, that you're doing work to keep your body mobile and supple. It makes just such a difference in each decade of life when you have a thoughtful plan that way versus someone that just does the same thing every day, and so that's kind of my word of the day. Well, 2 words: exercise diversity. So that you
and supple. I enjoyed that too.
Supple.
I was having a good time with that one.
You really want to think about it that way, because it really doesn't take any more effort to click, to check every single one of the boxes that I just mentioned versus just checking the same one every day.
Well, then let me ask you this, because this would be the implementation of what you're talking about. Like, how do you even begin to plan? How do you even make the decision to begin to plan? You know what I mean? I mean, it's like how do you know what days when, and how can you plan that? How does that work?
So normally, most, and we're talking general fitness here. We're talking about individuals that are just looking to be generally fit. We're not talking, athletes or bodybuilders, right, or any of the extreme categories, or an extreme cardio athlete, of some sort. But a general person typically wants to do 2 to 3 strength stimuluses a week. So when you think of that, category number 2 or strength, like you want to hit that at least twice a week, and you can do a full body strength workout. And on the exact opposite, it would not be a good idea. I've seen people in the gym do this. Well, they'll strength train like the same stuff like 5 days in a row, and it's like that is not a good idea. So when you're scheduling your week, you might put 2 days where you're going to be focusing a little bit more on strength, and then with cardiovascular exercise or conditioning, if you're doing lower level conditioning, like taking a walk or something where you're really not elevating your cardio level to the point where you can't speak easily. It can be done maybe even every day, but and it can be done up to 60 minutes or so, and it's totally fine. So that could be a little bit more frequently, but doesn't have to be. But normally, as far as like a steady state, longer cardio workout, I will try to get like anywhere from 2 to 3 of those a week. So similar to the strength training. And you can do strength training and then do your cardio right after, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. Mobility work doesn't take as much time. And from what I've been telling you guys in past episodes of your radio show is many times it's just something that can be added every day for like 10 minutes. Maybe you figured out some of the areas that you aren't quite as mobile in, like maybe it's your hamstrings or your hips or something. But then you can do a little grouping of exercises every single day to add in mobility. Or if you've had a really intense exercise day the day before, you can take a longer period of time to add mobility in the next day and just have that be part of your recovery. So, and then the final way to do this is you can do workouts where you kind of combine multiple different categories together. So you might have a strength training workout where you're mixing in little bursts of HIIT training, so that you're ticking the box of cardiovascular training along with the box of strength training. Normally, when you meld things together and you do it all in one big hodgepodge, you'll get a lot of the benefits that from all the different categories that you're doing, but normally it won't be quite as much as if you just focused on that category alone. Does that make sense?
Yes. Ben, is this the same thing? I've heard the term muscle confusion. You made me think of it when you said do the same thing all the time. Your muscles kind of become accustomed to the moves if you don't change it up, right? You lose some of the benefit of doing that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a principle of strength training. And to a certain extent, you could save potentially cardiovascular training as well. If you look at that from the standpoint of strength training, they always like to use the term, the best workout you ever could be on is the one you haven't done yet. So for instance, you change the pacing of your strength training exercises. You do them a lot slower, or you do them a lot faster, or you reverse the order. Maybe you always start with big muscle groups, but then you reverse the order on a different day and you start with the little muscle groups and go to the big muscle groups, or you change the exercises entirely. You swap them out, and that kind of variability really can be helpful on producing better results in the categories of kind of strength and also potentially muscle growth. On the cardiovascular end of things, like, you could think of the variability by like, hey, one day I'm going to swim, and anybody who does a lot of cardio like knows this. Like, it's amazing how not in shape you are for, like, let's say if you're a runner and then you go swimming, like how badly you kind of so. Or if you're a swimmer, and then you go for a jog, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I really suck at jogging, because again, variability. You could factor it in that way with cardiovascular training as well, Jack. To kind of vary it up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
You made me think of something else too, Ben. You said it doesn't matter if you do cardiovascular or strength in what order. I don't know if I heard this, think this. Doing the cardio first and get some sweat going before you go into the weights, is that preferred, or it doesn't matter, is what you're saying?
It really matters as long as you're doing a warm-up. It can be really your preference. My preference, and probably the way that I would recommend, is doing the cardio first. If you're going to do a standard cardio workout, and I probably would do that first for the exact reason you just said, get the tissue temperature up, get a sweat going, all those kinds of things before you move into the strength training.
Mm-hmm.
But necessarily have to do it that way. You could do just a normal warm up, prior to the strength training, then finish with the cardio, and that'd be another example of variability. So you could swap that stuff out or up or change it around any way that you like.
Who's fit? Who has great flexibility? Right here. Want to talk about variable daily workouts? You should see her on the cat towers.
Who is that special?
That is Princess Shusha. She is royalty, and she is quite annoying.
Would have an impossible to pronounce name for a
yes,
cat.
it's spelled it's spelled just like it sounds. XUXA.
Oh, that's exactly.
But you want to talk? Actually, we should all strive to be like her, because let me tell you, darting up and down the stairs, flexibility is ridiculous. She washes in places that certain men only dream of, Hanky included.
I don't dream about it.
We talk about. I don't know if if this is true or not, but I think I read it somewhere where if you took a house cat and you morphed them into the size of like a 200-pound animal, they would be probably the strongest, most ferocious, powerful animal on planet Earth. Because it's amazing some of the things you see those like a 20-pound cat do. Where it's flying air, jumping 15 feet. It's like, oh my god.
We have parkour hits really hard about 8 p.m. around here. She has two brothers, and it's I turn the TV off because it's just so much fun to watch.
Man. Oh, very cool. And Ben, another way to do it, which you left out, but it is really, and your place has really tuned this up, is to have a schedule every month if you're in team training, and they alternate things, so they're constantly. So if you're in that class 5 days a week, you're not doing the same things repeatedly. I mean, they mix it up, cardio with strength and what have you.
Yep. No, but I think that's extremely important. If somebody is going to like a boot camp style class, that you have the faith in your instructors that they're doing that for you. Where if you're someone who wants to come to it every day, that they are making it so that you can do that where you're not going to get injured or get overtrained by doing like you said, Jack, the same muscle group every day or the same technique every day. That leads to problems, and I've seen that in other places, or I've seen people do that to themselves, where they'll come in and they'll do they'll run a treadmill at a super high intensity for 45 minutes every day of the week. It's like, I don't know. You might be better off if you vary that up a little bit, so.
It's
Where's
like
that-
go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say it's like they get addicted to that. It's like they can't. It's a mental. It's like got to do it. Got to get it. You can just see it. And I see outdoor bicyclists do this during the summertime. They go for hours and hours a day, and it's just like you got to flex up too. For God's sakes.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm not a huge fan of So let me just state this: regular steady state cardiovascular exercise is fantastic for the human body. No matter what anybody says on the internet, doing it right now, like, oh, that's a waste of time to run on the treadmill, or it's a waste of time to ride a bike. That there's nothing that could be further from the truth. It is the foundational kind of method of kind of promoting health in your body is to get moved, that way. And there's so many benefits that come from it. So I just want to preface that before I talk to the point of what you're saying. Somebody does that, but then takes it to the extreme of I'm going to do 2 hours a day on the bike, but then I never do anything to mobilize my hips. I never do any strengthening for my upper body or my postural muscles. Like that's where it gets kind of ridiculous to me, where it's like, why would you, are you doing the core? Yeah. What are you doing it for? If you're going to end up, possibly putting it into a position where you're going to hurt yourself, or you're not maximizing the health benefit that you're getting from the exercise. So, I really agree with what you just said, Jack, where it's like that's where that diversity comes in, is like somebody who's doing that would be so well served to learn a little bit about posture, a little bit about, maybe core strengthening techniques, different things they can do. And they're just doing different movement patterns. There are several planes that the body moves in. It moves in a forward-backward plane, side-to-side, rotational. When you're riding a bike, you're only going in one plane. You're in the sagittal plane the entire time. So like, but we as human beings have to move in all three planes of movement. So if you're only training one, like you really should be doing some rotation. You really should be doing.
Yeah. Wait, Bulldog. One last thing.
Yeah.
Do you hear what Ben just said?
Rotational?
No. He said you're exactly right, Jack. So, he has never said that before. He said he really agreed with me.
Never gonna hit
that. You're recording this, right? You got this on.
What's nice is I actually have an add-on that's a polygraph, and the needles were off the charts when it said that, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. The internet's wonderful.
$100 to say that.
It was worth it.
Fish fry is on Dr. Ben tonight. Good to hear.
But yeah, you were right on that point, and that really speaks to what I was talking to you guys about today, is just thinking about diversifying a little bit, because there are so many varied benefits that come from each of those different segments of fitness and exercise, and I think it's best to maximize all of them. And you can do it in a time efficient method. You can do it, in a way that works in your schedule, so why not? Right, guys? Why not? Right.
Well, to that end, to the why not question, let me ask you this. So for someone who is possibly of a certain age and potentially acutely out of shape, this diversification you're talking about, would you say start with one and then add two and then three as time goes on? And possibly, I suppose, cardio would be the place to start. I don't know. What would your direction be on something like that?
I mean, usually
for a friend.
Easiest way to start, but I wouldn't leave out the other two. So you certainly could start with a walk that finishes with 1 or 2 sets of body weight squats, or other items that you might select from strength training.
Sure.
And then, then if you have a certain area you feel is tight, it is so easy to Google stretches, mobility technique, do some type of mobility technique for it. I would probably do all three, but cardio would be the one I would kind of focus on initially, just to get a base of that going first. And then you can kind of branch out from there.
Okay.
And there is a gold mine of mobility exercises on Form and Fitness's YouTube channel. My God, if you want some mobility stuff, right?
Yep.
You don't have to be a member. You just have to check it out.
Well, we're trying to film 5 or 6 shorts, which are like really teeny little videos that go over just one specific mobility technique for one area. So if people go to our vault, they can kind of like go through there and just pull them up really quickly. And, for instance, like the thoracic spine, which we were supposed to release last week. Sorry, guys.
Right.
We we had a mic issue actually. We had to refilm some stuff. But that one's coming out. But we have 3 different thoracic spine mobility techniques, and we did shorts on all of them as well. So stuff you can add in to really easily to get things going. So
people forget about the shorts. There they are.
The shorts.
Yeah, it's all the young youngsters like that.
They do. They like the shorts. But I mean, just if you just need to find a technique real quick. And our intent is to categorize those all better as well. So if you're looking for a mobility technique for your hips or your lumbar spine or your calves, like that, we have them in better categories. But we're gonna keep doing that as we build the channel over the course of the next year or 2.
Yeah, nice.
Your view counts are impressive. That thing's growing, isn't it?
Yeah, we're almost up to 5,000 subscribers now. So
wow.
I think we'll hit the goal would be get to like a silver play button channel probably within the next 18 months. So
wow. Okay.
Nice. Year and a half plugging away at that, and we'll get it there. Maybe even sooner. So
clearly, it's information that people want. So that's that is a good thing. Yeah.
One of my son's best friends started a YouTube channel, and this guy's 12. And he told me, we're driving the car. He's like, "Oh yeah, I saw you started a YouTube channel. You're doing pretty good. How many followers do you have?" And I'm like, "Well, we're up to." I know it said this very proudly. We're up to 5,000 subscribers. He's like, "Oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel too." And I'm like, "Well, how many subscribers do you have, Zach?" And he's like, "Well, I'm up to 25,000."
He's talking about Minecraft and Roblox, and
he's like blown me out of the water. Like I'm putting all this effort into it and everything. Not that he isn't, but it's just like
right.
You're like, what are you doing, son? He's like, "Oh, I'm turning my camera on and talking about Minecraft for 12 minutes, and I got 10K views." I'm like,
that's it. So, but that's okay.
It's fine. Yeah, they're young.
All right, Ben. It's trick or treat weekend here in Wisconsin and across the U.S. I have to know, if someone walks up to the Quist household and rings the doorbell, will all the lights go out and you just won't give out any candy? Or do you hand out like measured bags of celery and carrots? Or are you realistic? What's going on?
You are true to the holiday. So, it is the one time of year that I actually eat some candy. I do it once a year, and I call it the candy tax. So I take some candy out of each kid's bag. Ones that I like all the old school candy. I like, Milk Duds, or like that were, a lot. There's a lot of really good little miniature Halloween candies. But yeah, we allow our kids to have candy. I have a little bit of candy. We give candy out.
I was going to say, do you give it out?
Yeah, we do. We typically go over my mom's in Whitefish Bay, because in Grafton here we don't get anybody to the house. So
nice.
But being the one time a year thing, and then your kids, it's just kind of like, I'm sure they're not getting it regularly. They throw it down there and just like, oh man,
that could be a whole nother episode.
I forgot how great this is.
I mean, as we've talked about before, sugar is 100% addictive. It is a dangerous substance that they use to kind of snare people in, and it's almost impossible to escape it right now. Added sugar. I've ranted on this before, but I think of it as almost like a criminal endeavor. They're putting in everything from ketchup to so that you get this incredible sweet tooth. We almost need that next hit of sugar, and it is fascinating to me when you remove refined sugar from your diet, or added sugars, which you can find easily on any package label now. You do not crave them at all. Like it's a really cool thing, because someone can plop some donuts down in front of you and they look weird, smell weird, and actually taste weird if you get rid of that stuff out of your diet. So it's kind of one of those things, like with many of the addictive substances, you have to simply remove it.
Yeah. Absolutely. How long does it take when you remove added sugars and really target that? How long does it take for your body to kind of detoxify from that? When does that?
I don't know.
I have to say
2 years. 2 years. If you don't know, what hope do we have?
like from just personal experience of having done it, you know, I found it to be a pretty quick process where I would no longer crave that stuff. Where in the past I'd be craving something with sugar in it, or I'd go to the movie and the candies would all look good to me, you know. And now they don't. They hold no hold over me. Maybe red, but not candy. So it's
you got to start, instead of Alcoholics Anonymous, you got to start SS, which is Sugarholics Anonymous, and you are the man.
It's a dangerous substance. So, but you know, how do you get your kids to fall into that same? I think it's really tough, and I almost think like if you're too strict with your children on some of that stuff, they end up kind of rebelling, and it makes it even worse. So we
definitely. Absolutely.
And I modeled the behavior to them as far as, you know, how would I eat? You know, I don't need to eat like it's Halloween every day. You know, I don't need to eat some kind of Frosted Flakes cereal in the morning with, you know, I mean, oh God, don't get me started.
No problem, chocolate. Are your kids of the age that they still trick or treat, Ben? I have no idea how old your kids are.
Yeah, they still do. So my youngest is 8 and my oldest is 13. So
you're in the zone.
Prime zone, yeah.
I was just at Spirit of Halloween in Mequon, and guess who I saw there shopping for a costume? You're never going to guess.
Jeremiah.
Giannis was there.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
He is a Mequon resident, so there you go.
This is how sports incompetent I am. So Giannis walks in front of my car, and I notice him because he's like so gigantic, and he's kind of ambling along really slowly. I'm like, gosh, can't you just go a little faster, sir?
He can.
I had no idea who he was, and my son Griffin's like, that's Giannis, Dad. I'm like, not Giannis. And so I Google it on my phone, and sure enough, you know, it was Giannis. People were following him around in the store and everything. And
wow,
you know, you see him anywhere in the store because he was so tall, his head would popped out above, you know, the aisles of costumes and things. It's like, oh my gosh, you are a huge fan. So
he'll change light bulbs while he's there. Knock some cobwebs down.
Really, really tall and big, huge, broad shoulders, and his feet
he's ripped.
2 feet long. Like he had these shoes on that slipper shoes. They didn't even fit his feet. Like half his foot was sticking out the back.
Unbelievable.
Ben, I know what really happened. He stopped in front of your car and he said, "Hey, I know you. You have a YouTube channel. You're Dr. Ben. Hey, can I get an autograph? Hey, man. Hey, come here. Stop it. Hey."
Oh my God.
Star of stage and screen.
That's right.
or for Halloween, star of stage and scream. Anyway.
Yeah.
So here we go. Groner, a dad joke to wrap our session up here. So, Ben, we'll have a fantastic weekend. I wish your kids the best trick-or-treating, and hopefully they can fight the power, because that's taxation without representation.
No way. Raise those taxes, Ben. Raise the taxes.
I'm taking more candy. All right, guys. Have a great
All right, take it easy, Ben. We'll talk to you. Take care.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks. All right, Dr. Ben. That's good. We're all wrapped up here for a Friday. We recorded this. No, actually, we're live. Sorry. And we are back on Tuesday with a normal show. Normal roster of stuff.
Normal being a relative.
Whatever it is that we do here. Yes.
LC will be back. She was ready to
Curtis,
go.
She must have mountains of stuff for us to talk about. I want to talk to her about the settlements on Sheboygan, as I like to call them.
I want to know where Jaboy Dirty or whatever that guy's name is.
Yes.
where he plays, where he's playing live on Halloween
regularly. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll have to check out. I'll do a little interneting. We'll see.
Russ Meyer will want to know.
I'm sure he will. So anyway, we are back on Tuesday. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Sorry about the truncated week, but Jack had to travel. Oh, Shusha came by to say goodbye to the official feline of the Jack Henke Show.